everyone, today I'm going to be doing something really exciting. I'm going to be donating blood for the very first time in my life. Because I am in Australia, the organisation I'll be donating to is the Australian Red Cross. I'm not too sure what organisations other countries have, but you should definitely do some research into it if you are planning on donating blood as well. And I actually don't know what blood type I am, so I guess we're going to find out soon. So I am making this video today to raise awareness to the cause. If you have donated blood before or if you are planning on donating in the future, I just want to say a huge thank you in advance. It truly is a great cause, you're doing a great thing. And I think I'll just be showing some footage of me with the process of booking the appointment, but apart from that I don't think there's anything else I need to do to prepare, so let's get into it. So today is the 21st of December and I have just booked an appointment for tomorrow afternoon. The website is really easy to navigate and the process of booking is really fast and simple. You basically just have to answer some questions, choose a time and make an account. But I did get a little bit anxious that I wouldn't be able to donate blood because one of the questions was whether we got a piercing recently, and I just got my ears pierced a few days ago. But luckily they did use a single disposable needle, which is really hygienic, so I am able to donate blood. I was actually planning on donating blood a few months ago, but I went to GP to get a blood test because one of the requirements is to have a good iron level, and since I am a vegetarian my iron levels were really low, but luckily my GP gave me some vitamins and started recommending what food I could have, and now my iron levels are all good again. I just went for a blood test a few weeks ago. I know that donating blood for the first time can be scary, especially if you don't know anyone who has donated or if you are unsure of the process. So I'm actually quite anxious myself, but I'm here to hopefully make you feel a bit better by sharing my experiences. And if you have donated blood before or if you are planning on donating blood in the future, thank you so much, or thank you in advance. It really is a good cause. And let's get into the video.
I won't be filming the process itself, just out of respect for the staff and other donors who could be camera shy, but just a heads up that even though I will be covering the needles and the blood in the photos of myself that I'll be showing, it is still in a hospital-like setting, and you can see the bandages on my arms in the other videos.
So it's now been 1 day since I made the donation and it couldn't have gone better, and I am definitely going to donate again sometime. So before the process of donating actually begins, somebody else comes to see you and just go through the questionnaires with you and double check your identity and everything. And after that they do take a little bit of blood from your fingers just to check that everything is all good. That is why I had a band-aid on my middle finger yesterday, but for obvious reasons I won't be showing my middle finger to the camera. And after that you just get led to wait in a seat where blood will be drawn from you, but I was completely fine with waiting because they had lots of decorations and TVs to look at. It was a great atmosphere. I didn't feel any nervousness at all. While I was in a waiting room I was also given a sheet just to tell me, you know, what I shouldn't do before donating blood and what I should do while donating, such as exercises I could do with my ankles and how I could move around and stay calm. And before they actually start to take blood from you, they do check your blood pressure one more time just to double check that everything is alright, and then it begins. But honestly it wasn't as bad as I thought. There was no pain, it was just like getting a blood test, and the staff there were really friendly, so they did have really good conversations with me while I was waiting. While I was on a chair about to donate, I was once again handed a sheet with a list of ankle exercises and ways I could move around, because that could make the process a bit faster and it definitely would calm me down a bit. For me personally it wasn't as painful as I assumed it would be. I assumed that since they're taking more blood than they would in a blood test they'd feel different, but they felt exactly the same. You just felt a little bit at first and then it felt completely normal, and the staff they were really friendly, so I had somebody talking to me the whole time, which really took my mind off the pain. And they also gave me something to squeeze on, which did help make the process a bit faster and help calm me down a little. I'll be putting a photo of me over here. Honestly, the best thing I can say to people who are afraid or nervous about doing it is just not to look down, because then you're going to start freaking out. I just kept my eyes on the staff and on the TV and the decorations the whole time, and everything was all good. So usually they do take blood from your non-dominant hand, but for me I did have a better vein on my right arm, which is my dominant arm. I think it was because the vein was in the middle, while on my left arm the best vein is kind of on the side. So they did tell me it would have the best result, so I was completely okay with it. So I think that is all I have to say about the process itself, because it was just pretty straightforward and chill. It was just me sitting there watching the TV and talking to the staff while the blood was coming out. So I will be answering some questions I got from friends before I went in for the donation, and if you do have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try my best to get back to them. And one of them was, can I donate blood if I have a low iron level? I am assuming the answer is no, because iron is really important. I don't think your iron level needs to be too high or anything, but I definitely recommend going to GP to talk about it first, because obviously the GP is a medical professional. I am not. It's just that from my personal experiences, I was told not to donate blood when I had such a low iron level. The next question I got was, did it hurt? And I kind of answered that, but no, not really. Honestly, the only real painful part of it was when I took the needle out, because I was so used to having it there for such a long time that when I took it out it felt a bit kind of strange in a way. I hope that makes sense. And I also got asked, do you have a fear of needles? No, I don't have like a big fear or phobia or anything, but you know, of course I do feel a little bit nervous when I'm sitting there and seeing the needle about to be put in, but the best thing I can say is just not to look, just look the other way. Look at the TV, look at the staff, just look anywhere but down there. Think of anything but the pain. And of course I did also get the classic, what would happen if somebody I donated blood to left some blood at a crime scene? Would it come back to me? No, it wouldn't, because the DNA is still different and the police would know it isn't me, and even if they did come to find me, I will have evidence that I have donated blood before. So I also got asked what the difference between donating blood and plasma is and why I chose to donate blood. I think the main differences are where it goes and what the process is. So I'll start off by explaining the difference between the processes. With donating blood, you know, it's simple. Your blood just goes straight out and it goes to patients who need blood due to blood loss. Donating blood can be used for cancer, blood diseases, heart disease, stomach disease, kidney disease, childbirth, etc. If you donate blood, you need to wait 12 weeks before you can do it again, and I think if you get a tattoo, you have to wait another 4 months or so. The process of donating plasma is pretty similar to giving blood, but whole blood is drawn and the plasma is separated from the red blood cells and other components, which are returned to your body. So it probably will take a bit longer and it might be a bit more painful because they are putting stuff back in. Donating plasma can be used in 18 different life-giving ways, from treating serious burns and cancer to protecting people with brain and nerve diseases. I think it can also go to the development of vaccines. And the reason why I chose to donate blood rather than plasma is because I don't know what blood type I am and I like to find out. My GP told me she couldn't check what blood type I am, so I could go to Red Cross to get it checked out. And the second reason was just because donating blood is the one I've been seeing more awareness for lately. I think it is more in need and a bit more simple, so it would be a bit easier for my first time donating. And that is all the questions I have for today, but once again, if you do have any questions, leave them down below and I'll try my best to get back to them. And now I'll be talking a bit more about what happens after I donate the blood. So after the needle is taken out and my arm gets bandaged, I have to sit there for about 10 to 15 minutes because it is my first time donating blood, so I don't know how my body would react, and you know, they did need to see if I'd have any after effects. And since it was my first time donating, I did get some apple juice. I felt like a 5-year-old, but it felt great. I loved it. And I just sat there for a while and waited, and then after I finished waiting, somebody else came over just to double check my identity and to check that everything was all cleaned up well. And then I got led to a refreshment section. Basically, I could just sit there and have some hot food or cold food or drinks and wait 10 to 15 minutes before heading off. Afterwards, you do have the option of making another appointment at the front desk, but I didn't, just because I might be getting tattoos in the near future, so I did want to double check with that before making an appointment. But if I'm able to, I will definitely donate plasma before donating blood again, just to give it a try and see what it's like. So today is the 31st of December. It has been 1 week and 3 days since my donation. and I just received a text saying that my blood donation is on its way to someone special at the Royal Melbourne Hospital. So giving blood is a gift of life, truly is special, and it really does mean a lot to the donor and the person receiving the donations. I wish the best to the person whose blood is going to. I wish the best to all my fellow donors and everyone else receiving a donation. And Happy New Year to all of you as well. Congratulations on making it through this insane year, and hope things get better next year. Have a great day.